What is up, action takers? Today we're joined by social media expert Katie Brinkley. She's been in the game for over 20 years, and this one is one you're not going to want to miss because we're talking a lot about how to elevate your DM game, your direct message game. It's not enough just to produce great content. You have to know what to do on the back end, how to properly engage with people, how to create conversations that inevitably are going to lead to followers, leads, and sales. Because let's face it, we're not on social media just to scratch our backs. We want to actually generate some income. So get ready. If you haven't yet, smash the subscribe button. It's right down there. Smash the subscribe button. And let's get ready for another awesome episode with Katie Brinkley. Thanks for subscribing. Let's go. Yo, Katie, what up?
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, Katie, I'm really excited to chat with you. It's always fun talking with a social media OG in the hizzy for shizzy. And, you know, I've been watching you, listening, and I feel like you're just going to drop a lot of information that's going to be useful for me and the audience today. So thanks for joining.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here with you. And I listen to you, on this podcast, obviously, but also your other podcasts and of course, Clubhouse, which is where we, met. So I'm excited to join you today.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Clubhouse a little bit, but before we get into kind of like what's happening now, I want to go back in time. I know we always go back to the future. We hop in the DeLorean, we go back a few years. I just want to kind of know, because you were around making money during MySpace era, right?
I was. I always feel really old talking about that because, I would like to say that, well, I was playing on it, when I was 5, but nope. I was in college and I dove into the social media world back in the days of MySpace, back when Facebook was just for colleges and universities. That's when I got started in the social media game.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really interesting how things have evolved over time, but I do want to ask, like, what was the first dollar that you made on social media? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So like you said, when I got started back in social media, it was with MySpace and I was helping bands get off of MySpace and onto the radio. I worked at the college radio station, and one of the jobs as a music director was to get bands to send you their music for free because, we're a college and colleges don't have any money, I guess, to pay royalties. And so I was trying to get these bands to send us their music for free. And everyone was writing like handwritten letters to bands and musicians and, record labels. I was like, well, this seems like a giant time suck. There's a ton of bands that are trying to make it on MySpace. What if I just go on there and start talking to these bands? I started getting all this, I was really into punk. I started getting all this punk music sent into the station. And I was like, well, this is great. What else can I do with these punk bands? And so I had a punk show and I was like, hey, if you want to come on the air, I'll play your music. And if you want to answer some questions live, I can interview you. And the station director was like, okay, what are you doing here with all these punk bands and stuff? Do you know them? And I was like, well, kind of. I met them on MySpace. And that's when I saw very quickly what an incredible tool social media can be when you know how to use it the right way. So I wasn't necessarily putting any dollar bills in my pocket, but I was getting backstage passes to any show that I wanted to. And as a college kid, that's exactly what you want, right? I just wanted to go see some great music live, and I would get to go hang out with the band backstage, and I felt like it was a pretty big deal. But yeah, MySpace was my first social media business endeavor, and it was with bands. And I then moved into doing the whole social media thing for small businesses here in Denver, and it was still just kind of a side hustle, just more for trade. It wasn't until I landed my job as a corporate marketer for the Colorado Rockies television station that I actually started putting dollar bills in my pocket for social media.
Dig that. Super interesting. Yeah. If you know the band you're in, that's like the currency in the college world. So did you grow your own business, or did you go into the, go corporate and then come back? Like, what did that look like for you, Katie?
Well, being a social media anything didn't exist. Like I said, Facebook was still just for colleges and universities. Twitter was this new thing that was coming out where we could, send out these short, 80 character tweets. Social media, I think, didn't exist back then. And so what I was going to school for, the reason I worked at the radio station, was because I wanted to be a sports journalist. I wanted it for radio. And would you believe I landed that job right out of college? So I was the post-game reporter for 850 KOA here in Denver. And 850 KOA broadcasts the Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. So I got to go to all their games and do the locker room reports and do the training camp reports. And it was definitely my dream job. I was fortunate enough to land it right out of college.
Super cool. Super cool. And so, like most people I find, we're not living our dream jobs, right? It's generally, I hate Monday. I can't wait for the weekend. I quickly learned that that's a terrible way to live. At this point in time, you've started basically your own social media consulting agency, right? Mm-hmm. Next Step Social Communications. And I've got links below to how we can get in touch with you, Katie. But like, when was that moment that you realized that, okay, it's time to take the plunge and go out on my own, take the risk, and turn my passion into my main project?
Well, I was laid off and I wasn't planning on starting my own business. I had, growing up, of course, looking back now at my career journey, of course I ended up being an entrepreneur. Of course I ended up having my own business. But again, I went to college. I thought I was going to be a sports reporter. And then when this whole Sirius XM thing came out, everyone in the radio industry panicked. I was one of them and I left. Obviously, hindsight is 2020. Radio, paid radio is just an option, and free radio does still exist, but definitely should have stuck with that longer. But I went into marketing and I decided to go the corporate marketing route. I loved my job. I worked, as a marketing manager for the Colorado Rockies TV station. I was doing their social media, their script buying, their script writing, their media buying. I loved it. I had a great boss. And then when you work at a large company, things happen that are beyond your or your boss's control. And our company merged with another large company, and they saw me as just a number, as just a title. And they were like, well, all marketing managers, we don't need them. So we were all laid off throughout the entire region. So I was devastated. I remember I was sitting in my boss's office because we were going back and forth about well, what could I do? What am I passionate about? And as I sat there, she said to me, Katie, you are so good at social media. The stuff that you've done for the station here is amazing. And some of the ideas that you have there are really next level. I would just love it to see if you could find a job where social media is all that you do. And so when I got up and I left her office, I was like, I love social media. She's right. That is my favorite part of my job is posting on social media, creating the graphics, having the conversations, doing the ads. And I was like, well, why not? Why not? Let's just see, let's just see what happens. And so I went out there and went home that night and sat down and bought a couple domains. Next Step Social Communications was one of them, and started creating a website. And just shortly thereafter, I got my first client. I was going off of different, contractor platforms like Thumbtack and Upwork and Fiverr, just trying to find some sort of clientele to get my business started. And it's been almost 6 years now. I didn't know really what I had set my mind to do at that time. I was just sitting there thinking, well, yeah, I love social media. Let's just see how I can make it go. Let's just see if I can justify me being at home instead of, going to work and having to pay for daycare. And then when I started making more than I was making when I had the TV station job, I was like, I might be onto something here.
That's super cool. I find that, most people are trying to find a way out of their job, and they're trying to build this dream. But I find it interesting that you didn't really have a choice, right? It was either sink or swim, or you could have gotten a job anywhere. You could go work at Target or Walmart or something like that. But instead you focus on what you did, what you loved, what you were great at. And listen, that's the dream. That's the dream, right? To wake up every Monday and be excited and be energized. And so that's really what the show is all about, is trying to find those lanes and trying to get there. So I want to talk turkey. I want to talk specific strategies, because I'm trying to get paid over here, Katie. I'm not trying to waste my time. I'm trying to get on social, trying to pick up clients. I'm trying to build, mastermind groups. I'm trying to build my community, my funnel. So let's talk turkey. I want to actually start by talking about social audio, because Clubhouse last year, when it dropped, was like gasoline on the fire for my agency. I met so many people. I was hosting rooms. We were getting hundreds and hundreds of people through the rooms. I was like, calendar was flooded. I was turning business away. But then something happened. Clubhouse just kind of like took a dip. Everyone stopped going on Clubhouse. And in fact, I think that was about the time where they introduced the messaging, because
the back chat.
Yeah, everybody was like, this is great because I'm growing my Twitter and my Instagram following because all the back channels is happening there. And so that was one thing that I noticed. But, what are your thoughts on Clubhouse now as of May of 2022? It's still there. People are still hosting rooms. Is it worthwhile? Should that be part of our strategy?
See, this is the thing, Mark. I think that it's too bad because, well, one, I think that Clubhouse was successful because we were all craving human interaction. We've all been stuck at home for a year and a half, and we missed having those conversations and think of the people that were spending time on it. I remember sitting in a room with Bill Gates in it. I was like, this is so cool, or Paris Hilton or Lindsay Lohan. Obviously, you can see like kind of my trending topics that I like to tune into. But it was really neat to just hear these conversations with people. And like you said, the people that I met and the opportunities that were given to me during that time were all because of Clubhouse. But this is the thing. It was beta. We were all the beta testers, and they were building the app as people were joining it. And like you said, they were having to direct people over to Instagram or Twitter to continue those conversations, which I think honestly was a brilliant move. Because once a Clubhouse room ended, if you wanted to continue nurturing that audience that you had just connected with, you could do it on Instagram posts. Like, hey, if you liked what I had to say in that room, here's a carousel post giving more tips, and here's me going live, and here's a reel. I mean, it really was how you nurtured that relationship along. And that's why I think a lot of us found so much success with it. But when the world opened up again, people had more time, and they realized how much time they'd been spending on Clubhouse without actually getting any returns. There wasn't a clickable link. There wasn't, a way to save those replays. Once the room was over, that was it. And as a podcaster, like repurposing content, being able to repurpose this podcast is everything. And the amount of time people were spending creating content just to have it go poof. I think that a lot of people were disenchanted with it. Now, Clubhouse has made a lot of upgrades and improvements, but a lot of people have left, so they don't even know about the upgrades that have happened. In response to your question, do I think that Clubhouse should be a part of someone's marketing strategy? I think that when you make the commitment to having Clubhouse as a part of it, it can be an incredible tool. Whether or not you want to host rooms, join rooms that are already in progress, or just go in and listen and do market research, it is an incredible tool when you know how to use it the right way. And like I said, the replay feature now is great. I mean, you can send out that replay in your email list. You can send out that replay to your Instagram following, with a clickable link. So it's not as, oh, that was an hour of my time wasted. Now you have the opportunity to go in there and repurpose that content.
Yeah. I mean, I got a little bit disillusioned when I just wasn't seeing the amount of people, but I agree with everything that you said. And, I still log into Clubhouse occasionally. I think the problem for me though, is a lot of people have migrated over to Twitter Spaces. I think like Spaces it was like, wow, you've got a great platform. Let's just steal what's best about Clubhouse and we'll absorb it into our own ecosystem. And then combining, the power of Twitter along with Spaces has been, that's a powerhouse in there.
I agree. And I think that too, but I do think that they're different. So with Clubhouse, I definitely feel like it's community conversation driven, where someone can go in there, you have that clickable link and anyone can join the conversation. Whereas on Twitter Spaces, I don't know about you, Mark, but I mean, like, I feel like the majority of the conversations are either crypto/NFT based or breaking news based. Whereas if I go into a Clubhouse room, I can still go in and get some daily affirmations. I can go in there and do some mindfulness, rooms. I can find rooms about how, the latest updates to TikTok. Whereas I don't see those type of conversations happening on Twitter.
That's actually an interesting point. And maybe that's why I've segued and spent more time on Twitter recently for Spaces, because I am getting deeper into the NFT space as you are. And I'd like to ask ask you a couple questions about that. But, and NFTs and Twitter are like, peas and carrots, right? So they're, that's a really good point, I think, as well. But, one of the things I think that's important to, I think about when it comes to Clubhouse, and something that I thought about retrospectively, is that there's always going to be rises and falls in social media platforms and in opportunities. Like right now, reels are super, super hot, right? You need to be ready. You need to be equipped so that you can take advantage of different platforms and different features when they're hot, because they ain't going to stay hot forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you said, and if you're on Instagram and you're not creating reels, holy cow, the boat is going to pass you by. You're standing on the dock, and this is your last chance to grab on and maybe swim to catch on to the anchor. I mean, reels are everything right now for Instagram, and they are full blown into copying TikTok. So,
yeah.
But this is the thing, and not all of us, including yours truly, are super comfortable on video. I mean, there's a reason that I went into radio instead of television. I'm more comfortable speaking into a microphone than I am showing up on camera. And that's one of the things that's been kind of sad for me on Instagram, is I liked just having the pictures. I liked having the carousel posts. And it really is moving into that full-blown reels, short form video, social media platform now.
Yeah, for better or for worse. And, I definitely agree that you want to stick, you can't be everything to everyone on every different platform, so sticking to core competencies is important. But golly, man, those reels are so hot. Like I just meet, just like Hansel from Zoolander. They are so hot right now. I don't know. I think that getting in, but again, just to kind of circle around on this point, they're not going to be hot forever. Clubhouse, super hot, not as hot now. Reels, super hot. They're not going to be hot now in the future. So I just think leveraging opportunities and acknowledging when a real opportunity is there. I think so many people are so quick to say, I'm going to keep doing it the same way that I was doing it, and I don't need to evolve or adapt. And that's honestly one of the biggest challenges with social media is the algorithms are always changing. There's always new features.
Yes.
Like as soon as you get something figured out, something new is right around the corner, and that can be frustrating. But I want to actually dive in a little bit more into Instagram, because I've been really interested in that. A lot of the listeners are involved in Instagram. A lot of human beings are on Instagram. So let's say, for instance, that someone's paying attention. They're like, yeah, Mark, Katie, I'm making reels. It's good. I'm gaining followers. Yeah. People are following me. What do you do? What should we do, Katie, when we get a new follower on Instagram? Should we just be like, cool, I got a new Instagram follower and call it a day? But what should I do when I get a new follower on Instagram?
So what I do when I get a new follower is I go and check, I tap on their little profile picture. So you can organize your notifications. So if you want to just see, respond to all the comments straight in your notification feed, you can organize like that and filter like that. If you want to just see who all your new followers are, you can filter by new followers. So I filter it into the new followers, and then I'll go in and kind of tap on people. And honestly, I see who is my ideal client, because there's going to be a lot of people that are following me that are not my ideal client. They might not even have a business. So I'm not going to necessarily go on in and follow them back or anything. But if there's someone in there that's my ideal client, I will go and I'll check out their posts. I will like them, and I will generally leave a comment on probably their last one or two posts in their feed. And this way, it's just kind of that way of me being like, hey, I see you over here in this, great post or whatever. And it opens up the door to be like, hey, look, I'm seeing you too, in addition to you now following me. Now, it really depends on how this person came in. If they just followed you, they didn't engage with any of your posts or anything like that, it's kind of weird to slide on into their DMs. I think so. I'm more of the approach of nurturing the relationship along and not really coming in hot right off the gate and sending them voice DMs.
Sure. Well, when someone follows me for the first time, I send them a photo, a video, and I say, hey, buy my stuff, please. No. Just kidding.
That's exactly what you should not do. No.
But it's amazing to me how many people do that. I got to be honest. Right?
It is amazing. It's really sad, because I'm wondering who it is that's telling people to do this strategy, because I don't know about you, but like LinkedIn, I feel is especially bad for this type of engagement. It's like, hey, let's connect. All right, I'll connect with you. Hey, thanks so much for connecting. Here's what I can sell to you. And it's like, whoa. Slow your roll here. We're still just getting to know each other. I don't know if I want to buy from you.
Yeah, no, LinkedIn is horrible. I don't know what these people are doing. It's not even just I have this product to sell. It's here's a huge wall of text. Take 15 minutes out of your day to read this. Oh, and also here's 3 links that I want you to read that tell you tons more information. And after you've researched me for about 2 hours, let's hop on a 30-minute call. It's like,
no,
bro, who are you?
Yeah, right. Well, and that's one of the things is I think a lot of people think that because I teach people how to sell in the DMs, and I'm sure that a lot of people are like, ew, I hate that stuff. That's so sleazy and spammy. But when you know how to do it the right way, it's very successful, and it comes across as genuine. And honestly, there's been a lot of DM conversations that I thought I've had where I'm like, okay, let's, work this into a sales call. And I'm like, nope, I am the ideal client for them. I need to hop on a call with them to do business with them. So that's one of the things with DM conversations. You do need to have that genuine conversation, getting to know somebody and what it is that they offer and what their business is, because they might not be the right fit for you and your business.
Yeah. So I want to stay on this. So, and by the way, Katie does have at her website, Katie Brinkley, she has a list of, she's going to list this out for you step by step on how to actually do DMs the right way. So you can just go to www.katiebrinkley.com. That's www.katiebrinkley.com. There's a list right there, right for you, so you can do this right. And I just want to kind of talk through it a little bit more. Okay. So I like that first step you're doing is you're actually, looking at this person that connected with you and followed you just to see, hey, what are they about? Is it a bot? Do they have any posts? I also really like the idea of leaving a comment on a post, because people see that more frequently than they do in like the random message. So let's say that you get someone to talk. Like, what are the first questions that you're asking this person? How are you starting the conversation?
Yeah. So, well, like I said, when you comment back on somebody's post, exactly like you said, Mark, when you leave that comment, one, it helps them in the algorithm, because comments help their post get seen by more people. So it's kind of like, hey, here, let me help you get seen by more people. But two, it's exactly what you said with that real estate. You're getting that real estate on somebody else's post for them to be like, oh, and that Katie Brinkley left me a comment that was awesome. Or some of their followers might be like, wow, that's a really good tip that Katie shared here. So use that comment space to the best of your, abilities. Moving from the comments into the DMs can be tricky. And this is where calls to action are everything. So on my posts, I'll have, I'm trying to go back and think of one of my recent posts, but so I had a carousel post about how you can optimize your Instagram bio and 3 simple tips to optimize your Instagram bio. Have you updated your Instagram name field to, with the new update? So Instagram name field used to only be 30 character or 28 characters. Now it's 60. So that's what I was talking about. It's like, hey, have you done that yet? And some people were like, no, I haven't even thought of this, or I don't know what to even say. So when they commented on my post, I then went back in and said, yeah, if you need any help brainstorming what you should have in your Instagram name field, just let me know. I'll shoot you a DM. And by then it opened up the door for me to slide into their DMs. And it wasn't like, ew, why is she here? Like trying to help me. I just liked her post. I basically asked people who were struggling with this, if they were struggling or if they needed help in the caption. Those that were commented back. And then I went in and followed up and saying like, yeah, I'm happy to help brainstorm this with you. I'll shoot you a DM. And from there, the opportunity was open. It wasn't weird for me to be in their DMs messaging them, especially if it was the first time that I had DM'd this person.
Yeah. So, and that's great. I find that a lot of times though, if someone posts and then you reply, or if someone comments, you reply to the comment, they don't reply back, right? They're on to the next thing, right? And but I don't want to leave that lead alone. I want to make sure that I keep following up. One of the things that I do is I just go in real soft with something like, hey, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the comment. Glad to connect, and that typically works out. The challenge though I find is trying to navigate the conversation to a point where they're saying, wow, you can help me. Let's talk. Right. Because, one of the things that I find kind of annoying is when I meet someone online and they just start asking me questions like, what's the biggest problem that you have right now?
Yeah. What's your revenue goals this year?
Yeah. It's like it's so transparent that you're trying to sell me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. And I mean, and this is where paying attention to, and this is platform agnostic strategies right here, but I mean, paying attention to what you have in your bio is so important, because I will go in and I will read someone's bio and I'll, oh, hey, I see that you have a podcast. How long have you been doing that podcast for, Mark? So I'll read something from their bio and I'll pick something from it that I know I can continue the conversation on. Or, hey, I see you're in Denver too. Or I'm located in downtown Littleton. Where in the Denver area are you located? So I mean, starting the conversation with a genuine conversation starter, it makes such a difference, instead of just being like, so tell me your revenue goals for, for 2022. I mean, that's the type of stuff that's not really going to get a ton of, warm welcome from people. It's all relationship building. And if you show up with a genuine comment, question that relates directly to stuff that they have in their bio, or, hey, I saw that you just shared a post or a reel about loving coffee. I'm a coffee lover too. So I go in and take the time to look at their bio, see what they have in there, or if you still can't figure it out and you can't really resonate with anything they have in their bio, take a look at some of their past posts and find that commonality and use that as that conversation starter.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Basically be empathetic, try to find some sort of mutual connection. And that's what I've really tried to work on. Try to find a mutual connection outside of the business realm, because people make decisions based on emotions, not based on facts and logic typically. So I want to actually dive one level deeper into this, Katie, because a lot of the clients that I work with in my podcast production business are trying to find ways to just outsource social media. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to learn about it. The problem that I have is it is really hard to make that authentic, empathetic connection when you're outsourcing your production, right? To me, it almost feels like you're going to go on a date with someone, you just send a representative on the date, right? Am I missing the mark here? Is there any way that we can actually outsource this stuff, or is this something where we have to go in hand to hand?
Yeah, it really depends on the agency and the person that you're using. So if people decide to sign up and work with my company, the very first thing I do is I interview them for an hour and I record it, kind of like this podcast here. But I sit down, I interview them, I get to know why are they passionate about their business? What are some of the things that some little maybe quirks about them. I have a client and she talks 500 miles an hour and she says, right, all the time. So we have that in her copy. We put that in her comments. We have, so that way she's not in there doing it, but no one would ever be able to tell because we know her voice so much. So that for what they're done for you clients, we have the recorded calls, the whole team watches them, the interviews, just so that we can get that voice down. And you can't get that. I mean, maybe some of the Fiverr people have gotten that to that point, but you can't typically get that with somebody that you're going to hire off of Fiverr. It does need to be something that is somewhat location specific. So if you're in the UK, try and find somebody that's in the UK to help you with their social media, because there's different slang, different ways of saying things. So find someone that is location specific to where your business is. I'm not saying that if you're in Colorado, you can only have somebody that's based in Colorado do your social media, but it will make it easier if you have someone that's based in the United States. So that's what we do for our Done For You. Now, I also do coaching. And when I coach a lot of my clients on how to have a better social media presence, it comes down to figuring out your story and sitting down, because once you know your story, you can outsource it so much easier. You can find that VA, that assistant, because you know what the content pillars are, what you're passionate about, and what you want to talk about. So embracing your story is, regardless of how big your company is such an important part of social media.
I'm actually, that to me is an aha moment right there. So Katie, I just want everyone to recognize, if you're walking away from this conversation, you remember nothing. What Katie just said here is really important. That's, you need to know your story. I totally agree. And that's something I think I might have missed the mark in the past is, you're not going to have any chance of outsourcing anything if you don't know your own story. And to your point, it's sometimes I get this you probably get this all the time, Katie. People say, well, I'm boring. I'm not interesting.
Oh, I get it all the time.
But there's always something, right? I don't think Gary Vaynerchuk just woke up one day and he's like, I can tell amazing, interesting, empathetic stories.
Well, and Mark, you bring up a really good point because that's exactly it. It's our story. So it's not really special to us. But at the same time, you have to think like, so I shared that I started by helping bands with their MySpace. I used to be the post-game reporter for the Denver Broncos. That was all stuff I kept very close to the chest. I didn't tell people about it because I was ashamed of it. I was like, oh, well, it was just MySpace. And I was just, it was just band. They didn't pay me anything. I just got concert tickets. But wait a second, that was really cool. Like I got to go and hang out in tour buses with these bands before they went on the stage. I was the post-game reporter when I was the only girl in the locker room. I was ahead of the times, but I was embarrassed about it because I gave up too soon, but at the same time, like that's part of my story. That's part of what has helped me get to where I am today, having those different pieces of my life that have made a huge impact on where I am now. So when you know what your story is and you're willing to be vulnerable with it and willing to share maybe some of your, hey, I'm not comfortable on video. You share that and it helps people identify with you. It helps people say like, yeah, I'm not comfortable on video either. Like, oh, hey, I love sports. I'm a Broncos fan too. It opens up so many more doors for new businesses, new networking, and new relationships when you're comfortable with your story.
Yeah, well said. Well said. And I do think it takes time. In my mastermind program for podcasters, we worked on this for an entire month. All we worked on was what are some core stories that we can tell about ourselves that are gonna generate a genuine connection with our listeners, with guests, with other hosts. Super, super important. I want to do kind of like a hard segue here, Katie, because I've become incredibly fascinated with NFTs. I know that's something that we connect on as well, yes, right? NFTs are become part of our stories. So I'm just wondering, what was I don't even know actually how to start this question, but I want to know your thoughts on NFTs. How can NFTs be used to enhance our business, to enhance our status? Like, how are you seeing NFTs to be used here as we move into Q3 of 2022?
So a good segue would be like, Katie, you're into social media. Why are you into NFTs? That doesn't make any sense. And then my rebuttal to you, Mark, will be, well, this guy named Mark Zuckerberg changed the name of his billion-dollar company to Meta. And when he did that, I sat down and I said, well, I'm gonna have to learn about Web3, aren't I?
I just want to say, that was the exact moment. Like I've been hearing Gary talk about it, but when I heard that, I was like, that perked up my ears when Zuckerberg changed the name.
Me too.
That was the aha moment for me too.
And this is the thing, when billionaires who run technology companies say that they are going to invest in this new technology with their billions and billions of dollars, and that directly resonates or it has an impact on your current business, man, you are going to be, again, hanging onto that anchor as the boat, ships away. So you have to be paying attention. And that's where, again, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll start learning about Web3. And I started with buying a creator coin, which is a type of cryptocurrency that supports direct creators. So like Ann Handley has a creator coin, Brian Fanzo, Gary Henderson. So, there's a number of creators out there that have these coins. And it's very easy to get into the space because you can use a credit card to buy these coins. You don't need to have hot wallets and cold wallets and all that stuff. But so that was my entry into it. And I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. It's like having access to like if I own 50 coins, I can get a one-on-one call with so-and-so. That's pretty cool. So it's just a different way of buying coaching and buying memberships. I got it. But then NFTs opened up, and that's where it really, as a creator and as somebody that's so community driven, that's where I've really found my passion, what I really enjoy about this whole Web3 space, because these tokens allow you, access to artists and athletes and musicians in a way that you never thought possible. So, I mean, one of the NFTs I own is a music NFT. So I own a percentage of the royalties. If this music ever gets, placed into a movie or a commercial, I get a percentage of that. That's like the coolest, side of crowdsourcing I've heard of in a while. She comes to town, and what she's done is she's built her own biggest fan base of people that want to see her succeed. It's a really cool concept of building community in a Web3 world.
And it makes a lot of sense because, I think it was Zig Ziglar, or I can't remember who said this, but really what you need, or Kevin Kelly maybe, I don't know. A lot of people have said this, is 1,000 true fans, right? 1,000 true fans is all you need to be successful in social media. So, if the goal is to create 1,000 true fans, an NFT community can help crowdsource that as well. I've really gotten interested in the concept of access NFTs, which, like you said, they give you special access, backstage passes, VIP experiences, things like that. The thing I think about, though, is, most of these NFTs are going to zero. Most of them are going to go dead, right? So how do we create an NFT that doesn't do that? Or how do we avoid getting involved in an NFT that does do that? Is that something you think about?
It is. And I mean, it's one of the things too, where, especially right now when we are recording this episode, like the cryptocurrency market is not the best. So, I mean, it is kind of, that's putting it lightly, but I mean, it is one of those things where a lot of people are like, well, I can't sell these. I'm not going to buy anymore because everything's going down, but it will go back up, I think. And this is where you have to do your research on projects that, hey, if the price of it goes down to zero, was it still worth it while you were there? So I'm going to go to another NFT community that I'm a part of, which is a sports one. And it's great because we go in there and we all talk about baseball and what's happening in the baseball world. Like, unfortunately, I am a Rockies fan. It's very hard, but I am a Rockies fan. And it's cool to just talk shop, like, hey, Trevor Story's now with the Red Sox. What do you guys think? Is this a good move for, it's cool to have those people that I can have a baseball conversation with online. And I think that, honestly, Mark, the pandemic, it helped social audio and podcasters. And I think it really accelerated this whole Web3 space because if we hadn't been shut up in our own houses for 18 months, I don't know if everyone would have been as willing to meet strangers online and talk to strangers online. I mean, if now I tell somebody like, yeah, one of my best friends lives in Dallas and I've only met her twice, people are like, oh, that's kind of cool. How'd you meet? They're not like, okay, weirdo. You met someone on Instagram and you're like best friends. Yeah, right. You're so weird. But I mean, like, now you can have this whole community of people around the world with a common interest. And, I've found new friendships. I've found new business opportunities from being in a part of these communities. So that's the part for me where I'm like, yeah, it was worth the, $200 to get a picture of a cartoon dog, because now I've made some friends. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a feeling of we're in this together for sure. I've been getting really into the V-Friends project, which is also, there's a lot
V-Friends?
Of the Gary Vaynerchuk's project.
Yeah. Do you have one?
I have a series 2. I do not have a series 1.
Oh, you're so lucky. I don't have one.
Yeah.
No,
well, I mean, so that's another thing that's interesting about the V-Friends project is you got to pay to play. It's not a cheap project to get in, but it's accessible. It's not like a 250,000 Bored Ape.
Yeah.
But
or a moonbird.
You're looking at least $1,000 really. In actuality, you're looking at $1,000 at least to get in. So being part of a community of people that are willing to spend that much money, I think there's also some value there too. It's, you're actually being, there's, I don't want to say there's prestige, but you're there with people that are entrepreneurial, they're business minded, and they are willing to put up money to play. So those types of connections are maybe more valuable than joining an NFT collection where people are paying $5 to join or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And when that's why you have to do the research.
Yeah.
You can't just go and be like, oh, this is a cool picture of a sloth. I don't know if that exists, but this is a cool picture. Yeah. And I just have to join their Discord and it's only $50. Okay, cool. Cause that's probably not the best community for you to, it might not be a really good community. It might just be someone that's trying to go and flip a whole bunch of NFTs. So I think you have to do the research on what communities are worth the investment up front, because like you said, the NFTs could go to zero, and or they could go up to 27 ETH. Who knows? But finding that, go in for the utility. So like what you get by being a part of that community, and for the community members. If there's people in there that you're in alignment with, that you feel like you can learn from, and you would want to talk to offline and like on a Zoom call or whatever, that's a good community for you to be a part of. So find the right communities, and then you don't have to worry about the NFT price fluctuating.
I don't know. I'm actually, I don't have a project in the works right now, but I definitely cannot wait to mint my own NFT collection. I don't know what it will look like. And it's also relevant too. You don't need to, if you're thinking about minting or creating an NFT collection, you don't need to make 10,000. You can make 50 or something,
Yeah, for sure.
Which is, but there's so many different things we can do there. I don't want to go too far off the rails. So listen, Katie, you've been extremely helpful in my DM game. You got to get over to katiebrinkley.com, www.katiebrinkley.com. Once again, www.katiebrinkley.com. Now, Katie, before I let you go, I do have a couple of rapid fire questions for you that I'm very curious about. All right. Katie, if you could watch any band in concert, who are you going to go see?
Oh man, any band in concert, who would I go see? Can it be someone I've already seen before?
I'll allow it.
Or you'll allow it? Okay, well, but since you have to allow it, well, I was going to say Lady Gaga again, her jazz show. It was amazing. I went and saw her do her jazz show in Vegas, and man, does she have some pipes on her. It was a great show.
I thought you were going to bust out some like old school punk band that I'd never heard of, but Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga jazz. I'm much older now. That was almost 2 decades ago that I was in the punk scene. So
fair enough. What color was your hair?
I don't know if I could go to a mosh pit. So I used to have it was blonde, and then at the ends it turned into pink. The whole, like, do you remember when Christina Aguilera did that?
Oh yeah.
So the tips were just the tips were pink.
Okay, I'll dig it. What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Well, I am a wood when it comes to scary movies. So it traumatized me. Still can't go to the circus. I haven't seen the new one. I saw Scream, and I think that was the last scary movie I saw, and I was like, I'm done with this. I don't like scary movies. I don't sleep afterwards. I'm just not going to watch them anymore.
That's fair. It's great. I hate clowns too, so that's a good one. Favorite book? What's your favorite book?
Oh, well, I love The World According to Garp. I read that one maybe 3 times. It's a really good one. But as far as like book series, I love the Harry Potter series. I think that those are really fun. I'm just starting to read them again with my 7-year-old daughter, and it's really cool to see like her like, oh my gosh, they're they're flying. Oh wait, they can do magic. Like, just to see the excitement about magic and stuff like that again. So it's pretty cool to have her reading or starting to do the Harry Potter thing with her.
Dig that. And last question here, Katie. If you were going on an airplane trip and you could sit next to anybody, who would you want to sit next to?
This is a great question, and I would say Jim Carrey. The reason being, I think that it would be a really fun flight. I think that I would laugh a lot. I think I would have a lot of great like, okay, so tell me about XYZ, and just getting to know him. I think it'd be, and I mean, I'm not like a huge Jim Carrey fan. I just think that he would definitely make the flight a lot of fun.
Great answer. Katie Brinkley, everyone, make sure you go to www.katiebrinkley.com and get your key to DMing today. You're doing DMing all wrong. Go to katiebrinkley.com and get it right. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Katie is awesome. I got a chance to actually chill with her at Podfest this past month. And Katie's just such a great person, very supportive. If you haven't yet, you definitely want to check her out and see everything that she's doing. And, really practical. I really enjoyed this episode because of the practicality. I can take her tips on leaving DMs, engaging with new followers. It's just really practical stuff. Because if you're getting new followers and you're not engaging with them, you're missing the boat, right? So go ahead and do that. And listen, if you want some more assistance, if you're a podcaster looking to elevate your game, you got to join the Podcast Savant Mastermind. I'm telling you, this is the place to be. I do one-on-one coaching. It's very expensive, not to, I don't want to say very expensive, but it's not cheap. But in a group coaching atmosphere, in a mastermind atmosphere, super affordable, $50 or less, depending on your tier, to to get in. So listen, all my podcast homies out there, homies and homettes, I guess what would you call them? Anyway, if you're a podcaster and you want to elevate your game, if you really want to generate real revenue from your show, click the link below. Join me and all the podcast savants out there. Okay, go forth and conquer. It's your turn to go out and take action. I'll catch you here next time on the After Hours Entrepreneur. Peace.